Welcome back to Fort Mort. The modding series you've been waiting for is here now. Welcome back, guys, to Fort Mort. It is that time, Battalion. We're going to talk about this. This is a staple of days, I'm telling you. We are going to talk about how to mod your characters. But this is especially good for people who don't know how to mod, and it's going to be really good. There's 200 and some characters in this game, and I'm going through and I'm studying every single one at a time to make sure that I've got them down pat and give you guys the best information possible, make your team the most versatile. Keep in mind there are going to be counters that you have to set different things for mods, missions you're going to have to change your mods out. This is for your everyday GAC. Get your crystals, beat your opponent, slam their face. So we're going to dig into that right now. We're going to do this on Wednesday, aka today, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to post a video as well. We're going to start out with the Geonosian faction, and we're going to go from there. We're going to start out with the big boy, Geonosian Brood Alpha. This was one of my first relics, one of my favorite characters in the game. I know there's a lot of counters to these guys, but if you mod them right, they are pesky, pesky, pesky. You can see there's choices you're going to make on who you're going to take into Relic. So you've got ships for Soldier, you've got ships for Sunfog, you got a ship for Spy. So a lot of people do those relics instead. I'm not at a point where I'm worried about getting a relic yet. I can still take out the Negotiator regularly with these guys, but I do like my Relic Alpha because the brute scales, and we'll get into that in a minute. So let's start out with Geonosian Brood Alpha. This character, all right, and I also have, I guess I should point this out, I've also got a sheet up here that I'll share with you guys here shortly. All right. I'm going to have that at the end of the video, or you can pause it right there and look at it from there. Actually, I'm going to leave that up right here right now. So I want to go over a few things. So the Geos are fueled on health, mainly, and then protection all the way throughout the group because they do share stats, which we're going to get into in a minute. But like I said, I'll bring that visual back here in a minute. But again, guys, this is for versatility and give you the best possible team in order to take on the most teams. Nobody does this better than I do, in my opinion. I utilize smaller teams to take out relic teams, and I'm sure that there's always somebody better. I don't want to have a big head, but I do a really good job with it. All right, so starting off, we're going to go through the kit real fast. His basic. All right, on a basic, if he crits, he removes buffs. So crit it does have some use here. Potency, obviously, because you want to dispel buffs. There is some potency needed in this kit as well. So if deal physical damage to target enemy, dispel all buffs on a critical hit. So crits are important on his basic. He doesn't use his basic a whole lot, though, so I don't put a whole lot into the crit. His glaive sweep is a good one that gets used on a regular basis. It dispels all buffs on all enemies. I really like this one for strip and stealth. And then also dropping exposes, which means what? We need potency. So potency is another one that is really good for Alpha. It lands on it for 2 turns, and it can remove 15% turn meter, which also means what? You need potency. But keep in mind the key word here is removes turn meter from debuffed enemies. But the good news is your Geonosians debuff like crazy, so that's going to help out a lot. All right, conscription. This is the dispel all buffs on all Geonosian allies. This gives us crit damage and offense up and recover 35% health and protection. 35% health and protection on all allies. This is the big one. This is where you can cleanse all the debuffs on you. It's really good in the Watt mission as well. If you don't know the Watt mission, I do have a video on that as well. Actually, I have 2 videos on that. I think I got so buzzed one night, I forgot I did one and did another one. So, all right. Moving on to the next one, Geonosian Swarm. This is the leadership here. Now, when he first came on, I dropped both Zetas on him. I don't really regret putting this one on, but this Zeta's basically basic abilities of Geonosian allies deal 10% more damage for each buffed enemy. So here's the problem. This team strips a lot of buffs off and puts debuffs on. So this Zeta doesn't really get a whole lot of work. Originally, when I put this on, I was thinking it was a 15,000 max in health protection. This is a super luxury Zeta. I do not recommend it. You don't need it. But with this kit also, you not only get the 15,000 max health and protection, but you also get 50% health steal. That's huge, which means what? We need health, mainly on our Geonosians. This is the basis of this kit, as you saw in that screenshot. Basic abilities of Geonosians also, allies deal 10% more damage from buffed enemy. Like I said, that's the Zeta. You don't need it. The Zeta you do need is going to be Queen's Will. This is the one that gives you, at the start of the encounter, you summon the Brute. and the Brood is always taunting. As long as the Brood attacks or counters, he re-taunts. He taunts when he starts out, and every time he attacks, he re-taunts again. He's kind of like, even better than Zombie, honestly. All right, Geonosian Brood Alpha has plus 60% tenacity built into his kit already. And then again, this is what applies to Hive Mind, and every Geonosian has a Hive Mind ability. This ability for Alpha is everybody assists whenever a Geonosian ally uses an ability during his turn. Doesn't matter what ability it is. It deals 50% less damage, but you're getting a mass assist. And the key one for this for me is it equalizes health and protection. So if you've got a Geonosian in the red, all of a sudden when the enemy, and it's when the enemy takes a turn, not when you take a turn, when the enemy goes to take a turn right before they attack, all Geonosians equalize their health and protection. So that's another key one as well. So the more health and protection you have on all of your characters, the better off you're going to be. This one's huge, though. You want that Brood out there first things first, just like having KRU with a pre-taunt. And then the last one is Geonosian Brute. I think this was an Omega in order to get the 75% counter chance, but it brings it up to 100%. So 100% counter chance plus 25% offense on each ally. So offense isn't a bad one either. That helps out quite a bit. So from a statistical standpoint, Brood Alpha is the train that gets this thing going. And I'm going to tell you, his Brute hits harder than the Spy. But that's one reason I took him to Relic. My guy hits harder than Spy. Spy, of course, when he's stealth, which we'll go into later, and when there's tons of debuffs and buffs up, he can strip all that off and hit with a huge amount. But for just a regular hit, the Brood is the hardest hitting one on this team, in my opinion. All right, the only downside to Brood Alpha, bringing him to Relic, he doesn't have a ship, but he is the key that keeps it moving. All right, as for recommendations, my Relic priority on him from 1 to 10, I say he's about a 5. It depends on what you want to do, where you're at. So when I rate this 1 to 10, I'm thinking 10 is going to be somebody I want to Relic right now. Gotta have it. Geonosians there's a lot of counters to these guys. So for me, having him without a ship and everything else, he's going to be a 5. Speed minimum, I've had mine as fast as 283. Loved him fast, but he doesn't necessarily need to be that fast. If you get your Poggle and Soldier moving quick, the whole team will move quick. So you don't necessarily have to have him much over 200. And to be honest with you, a slow one can be decent too, especially going against Jawas. If they're super slow, Jawas, they don't work real well. So your primary stats, so you're basically looking at this, guys. You've got your circle, your arrow, your triangle, and your cross. Now, the reason I didn't list the other two is because you can only have offense percentage on your primary on a square. I guess I dropped that down. These can only be offense percentage primaries. That's it. And then your diamonds can only be defense primaries. So keep that in mind when we go through this series. This video will probably be longer than the rest are going to be. But all right, your cross. Let's go here. Your crosses can be a multitude of things. One of the things I do like on my Alpha in particular, I've got him with some decent tenacity. He's running 80% right now, plus the extra 70% he gets out of his kit gives him 150%, which makes him really hard to debuff, especially. That's really good against Vader, which is nice. Unless it's Vader lead, of course, but even then they're not guaranteed. Your health is recommended. Potency, I do like potency. Like I said, his kit does fit. So if you can't afford a health mod, potency or tenacity are both a good fit, but health is preferred. Everything I do is in order from left to right here. That's priority. So for the circle, health would be priority. If you can't get health, get protection. Arrow is going to be speed. Triangle is going to be health. And then your secondary stats, which obviously, if you guys aren't sure what your primary is going to be, this top stat. Obviously, it says it right here. Then your secondaries are down here. So your priority is going to be health with this character. Your secondary priority is going to be probably a tie between protection and speed. That's why I have them side by side. Third being potency. And then if you can find tenacity and crit chance, those are going to fit in well also. My recommendation for this guy, you can see I've got a lot of speed mods and tenacity on mine. My recommendation, though, if you can afford it, I was never a big health mod guy going early on, but if you can get 6 health mods with a ton of health on them, you're going to be better off. So you can see mine has got speed and tenacity. This is the way mine's built. It's a little bit different, but I like my health mods in different places with Padme and such. I'm starting to outrun my mods now, but I'm trying to catch back up. So, but this is my recommendation to you, and you should have a ton of health mods when they don't necessarily need a ton of speed either. Geos share health and protection. Health fuels survivability as priority. Potency drops debuffs on his swipe and passes turn meter to spy. Tenacity and crit chance are not priority but help a lot. And my, like I said, speed goal minimum at around 200. So this is, I've done double work on this too. I've gone to different websites and kind of looked at their recommendations and then read what I believe it's supposed to be. And for the most part, majority, I would say probably 90% of what the homework I did I agreed with what they said, vice versa. There's a few that I like to do a little bit differently, but Geonosian Brood Alpha, great character, early game character. Mod him, make him look good. And we'll get into the next guys. So we'll see you on Saturday. Like I said, this one's probably the longer of the bunch because I had some explanation to do how this is going to work. If you have any questions on this, please comment below. I will help you out as best I can. Like again, there is not a perfect way to mod anybody, but if you're going to make them versatile, these are my recommendations for what you guys need to do. In the meantime, don't forget, help me out. You can go ahead and hit that follow button. I appreciate it. We're looking for 1,000 followers right now. We're trying to get there. We're also over here doing the thing that we do. In the meantime, we are 1 battalion strong. See you Saturday.